All right, guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. As always, I'm Alexis Kraft, joined here with my co host Jake Ellenbogen. And guys, we are doing our first Downtown Rams mock draft of the 2025 NFL draft season. Jake and I do this every year, it's always a lot of fun. And we can see all your guys' comments this year because we're doing a live mock draft. So that's going to be really fun to see what you all say as you join us on this journey. Jake, it's almost here. The NFL draft. It's almost here. It's almost time. Very exciting time. And I know that we are anxious to just start drafting and see if we can somehow predict what's going to happen. Because sometimes we do these drafts, these mock drafts, and we get it like kind of right. Maybe not right, maybe not the right guys, but we get the
What do
positioning
you mean
right.
You get it kind of right. You got you had Jared Verse. The first time we did this, you had Jared Verse. And then when they were picking at 19, you had Jared Verse. And then when they traded up, you had Braden Fisk. So
yeah. I got a really good year last year.
You did.
So
you did.
Well, and so I that was really fun. But what that mean? You know what that means? It means that this year I'm probably gonna have a really bad year. I hope
not. No. It just means that this year you have more pressure. That's all.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more pressure this year. That's a good word to use.
Yeah.
But we'll see if I can get some picks right. Maybe I can get kind of in the correct range, and we'll see if we can create a mock draft. Now we're gonna do a couple of these, 2 to 3 before the draft. And we'll try to, for everybody who's kind of watching us do this for the first time, we try to make each mock draft that we do different, so that way we have options. So, because the Rams obviously can go a couple different ways with the draft, so we want to try and explore like every scenario in each mock draft that we do. So whatever we do tonight, we're going to try to do something totally different the next draft. So this is just our first draft of the draft
before the draft.
Yeah, our first draft of our draft for the draft.
Our first draft of projecting the draft before the draft.
Sure.
Draftception.
All right, guys. Draftception. It's a draft within a draft within a draft, and we are going to try to get it right. So Jake, if you want to show everybody kind of our process and the screen.
Yes. No fudging anything here. Alexis, do you want first pick this time? Do you want it next time? Up to you. You're muted for whatever reason.
My bad.
Yeah.
I will let you go first.
All right. What the hell am I supposed to do?
I muted myself because I thought that maybe you were going to explain the simulator to maybe people who.
So and I just didn't. So you were like, "Oh, I should probably talk." Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to ask is if you were going first, I was going to ask if you were trading up, because I will not be trading up under any circumstances. Will not be trading up. Shout out to Bill. Thank you for the 2.
Thank you, Bill.
Ruiz. Thank you for the 2. I think I mixed your candles. I had one job.
You know what's funny? Okay, so Ruiz sent me a
thank
candle.
You, Ruiz.
And thank you. And
Job,
Jake,
Ruiz.
sent us candles.
Or Job.
And the one that I got was Man Cave.
Yeah, so, you I think you got mine. Yep.
Okay. Well, I liked it. I still liked it, and I lit it. It's literally right over there.
You are not beating the what is it? The tomboy allegations.
Yeah. Listen, to my core. So I didn't even realize that there was a candle mix up when I got it. I just thought this is great. But that's funny that you mixed them up. We still enjoy it. So what did you get, Jake? Did you get
I got the one that I totally forgot the name of it. I do not have it in front of me, unfortunately. So I don't know where it is. It's in my room, but we have a draft to do. But what was the one that the one that you didn't get that you wanted?
Well, I think when he asked me what scents I like. I just like vanilla. Like I like vanilla.
It was something vanilla. I don't remember the exact. Okay. Yeah.
Ruiz.
It's all good. Okay. I like vanilla, so it's all good. Yeah. I just.
Right, so Jake.
Yeah.
So Jake is going to start the simulator. Jake's picking first. And to answer your question, I would not be trading up under any circumstance either. There's no situation in this draft.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trading up.
Where I would trade up. So we know that you're not going to do that, but we'll see what you're going to do when it starts.
Yeah. So I guess it'll depend on who's there. We're going to start the draft here. And right away, we got some interesting options. Omarion Hampton fell, which is surprising. Colston Loveland fell. He normally goes right around here. Mm-hmm. Walter Nolan. I'm not really high on Walter Nolan. I don't have a first round grade on him. So Omar Norman Lott, he is really good. And PFF updated their rankings, I noticed, because he's really high up here. Okay, so everyone knows I love Luther Burden III. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows I like Trey Amos. By the way, ended up being my number one corner in the draft, ahead of Will Johnson. So and Jahdae Barron.
Did you how did you grade Travis Hunter? I'm curious. Did you grade him as both, or did you just pick?
I grade him as a wide receiver. I think it'd be best for him to stick to wide receiver. I don't understand. I think PFF literally has him as a cornerback. Cornerback. I don't
see every simulator does that I've seen.
He's such a better wide receiver prospect to me. I think a corner, he can be a really good 2. Maybe he can be a low end cornerback 1. Wide receiver, he can be Odell Beckham Jr. when he first came out of LSU. That's like what I see. Is like he is Odell Beckham Jr. in a lot of different ways. The way he can play after the catch and everything. So, yeah, I don't really understand the cornerback stuff. He can play both. I just think he's a much better receiver prospect. But Trey Amos is a guy, I think he complement what the Rams have already really well. Good play speed and everything there. But I just really like his ability on the outside, physical, but he's really smart. He's got really, really swift hips where he can, turn on a dime and make a big time play. The ball production wasn't quite there, but I think he'll be better at that in the NFL. So there are some options here. I know Benjamin Morrison's a guy that we've talked about for a while. Kind of always saw him going to the Rams, and he's kind of fallen down the board a little bit since. But I'm going to see what I can do in the trade market because, Alexis, I think the best thing for the Rams to do here, as much as I love Luther Burden III, and he is one of my top players in this draft, I think the best thing for the Rams to do, knowing they're not picking until 90th, and actually in this case, I want to help you out, Alexis. I want to get you an earlier pick. Make life easier on you. So I'm going to trade down here. Not all the way down to 46. We're not doing Taylor Rapp again with the Falcons where they don't pick forever. So here's the thing, Alexis, it's going to be a debate whether the Rams want to put picks together and like swap them. So you move down from 26 and in turn you give up the 90th pick, but you're picking in like the 60s, or you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I just want another pick in the 90s. And I trade down and I don't get anything, I don't have to give up anything. So we got Ruiz saying, no, please take Luther. Sorry, Ruiz. I love Luther Burden. Everyone knows that, but I'm going to try and trade here. Let's see. I'm going to probably trade with the Eagles, because I'm seeing players here like the Eagles could be all over wanting to get Luther Burden. They could want to get a Colston Loveland. They could want to get, somebody in that defensive interior like an Omar Norman Lott. So I think that's the best. The analysis here, more people are saying to go with Colston. I don't see a first round grade on Colston Loveland, and he is not my number one tight end remaining. That would be Harold Fan Jr. So I'm going to trade with the Eagles here. Move down to 32, give up 26, and I'm going to take 96, and let's go with a later pick here, probably like a 161. What do you think about that? You think that's because I think that is fair. I'm not going to get 64 because I'm only moving down 6 spots. So what do you think?
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, we're trying to be fair here.
PFF doesn't though, right? Because if I'm reading this correctly. Oh, well, wait, was I reading the wrong screen? It said they're not interested in this trade.
It said they're not interested, but if you offer something that's fair, they'll normally accept it. So now I pick at 32.
All right.
And look at that. The way that it fell right into my lap. These are probably my two guys here. I'm going to go with Luther Burden, and here's why. You're getting a guy that instantly adds something to this wide receiver room that's not currently on it. Okay. You look at somebody that can win on the outside, can win on the inside, be motioned around, be used as a slot gadget guy, breaks tackles, makes a lot of guys miss. You guys know how important it is, in my opinion, for ball carriers to be able to make, tackles, miss tackles. He generates a lot of those. I think his 2023 film is better than anything wide receivers have put on tape in this draft, period. Better than anybody. Travis Hunter, anybody. His 2024 tape really suffered. I don't know what happened to Missouri this year. It wasn't good, Alexis. It just simply wasn't good enough. He didn't get a great opportunity. Brady Cook. No, it is Brady Cook. Brady Cook really did not look that great this year, but I thought he made some strides in 2023. So because of the film, because of that BS thing out there about his character, which I just don't buy for a second, I do think he'll fall in this draft. I don't know if he'll be at 32. So, Alexis, I'm going to take him right now before I run out of time.
St. Louis kid.
Luther Burden, you are a Ram. All right, you got pick 90. I'm sorry, Alexis, I didn't get you one earlier.
All right, let's see. Let me see what I'm working with, who's available. Also, everyone, I specifically put my glasses on for this because the way that this screen is for me, because I have so many different screens open, I see this screen very, very small. So if I look like I'm like straining to see, that's why. But Jake, who's there?
All right, so you got Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State. You got Olu Oladejo. I really like him from UCLA. Jalen Royals. You probably don't want to pick another receiver, right?
No.
What positions do you want? I'll filter them for you.
I'm really interested in corner.
Okay.
I don't know that I love who's here at 90 though.
Yeah, okay. There's not a ton there.
These people are all a little too high for me right here. Go to linebacker. Let's see.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to do defense. This just feels high for me for these guys as well. I don't really like what's going on here. I'm almost inclined to trade down, but let's see. What about tight end?
Tight end.
See, I know you really like Fannin Jr., but you're a lot higher on him than I am.
Yeah.
Jake, I don't know. I'm almost inclined to trade down again.
Well, what would you like to acquire via a trade down? Are you trying to trade way down? Or are you trying to trade?
Well, because we pick again, right, at 96.
So these are the picks that the Rams have. 90. Yeah. Well, now I don't want to confuse anybody. We made a trade. They don't have 96.
Trades. This is not. Yeah, this is not.
So in this mock, you have 90, 96, 101, 127, 161, 190, 195, 201, and 202. So my guess is you'd probably want to secure another fourth or fifth.
Yeah, I'm thinking something between 101 and 127, or ideally between 127 and 161, because we have like a dead period there.
Yeah.
So I just think it just would be smarter to acquire picks in between there. I mean, yeah, there's just nobody here that I am like loving right now. Go back to corner, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? You guys think I should trade back, or you think I should reach? Because like Jacob Parrish, maybe. I still don't know that I would take him here though.
He's got inside outside. Well, do not do that. He's got inside outside versatility.
Were you talking to me?
No. I hit the right. I hit the right click, and then of course it went right into reload. You can't see it, And it was like, do you want to reload the page? I was like, do not do that.
So here's the thing for tight end, like I wouldn't be upset with Fannin here.
No, I think this is about where he'll go. This is where I would probably take him. I mean, do you look at them and say you want to get a tackle? Do you like? Is there anybody here at tackle?
I kind of do like Cameron Williams, actually.
Doesn't Cameron Williams have experience? Yeah, he was the right tackle.
Ooh. See, the
yeah,
chat I think wants me to take Fannin Jr. though. I think my thing with taking Fannin Jr. here is I feel like I could trade back and we could and get like a Mitchell Evans at the end of the third or in the fourth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that in order to take Fannin here, you'd have to really love Fannin. Yeah, see, people really want Fannin Jr.
I don't blame him. I mean, he has crazy college production. He's young.
But you know what? Here's the deal.
But I'm not trying to influence your pick.
No,
you pick
I'm going to take
want.
Fannin Jr. here because I know a tight end move I think I'm going to make in a different draft, and we're trying to make these different. So let's take Harold Fannin Jr. I think my concern with Fannin Jr. and Jake, I know that you'll think that this is unfounded, and maybe the chat will too. It's like the stiffness of the hips and like just the like, I don't know what word I'm looking for.
No, I get
Something
it.
about watching it doesn't feel, he doesn't feel like very versatile. I don't know. I don't feel like I see on tape what people who are really high on him see. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I think it's definitely understand. So you are taking him?
Yeah, no, I'll take him here. I think that it's fair value to take him here.
I mean, he's a natural hands receiver, which I love. You know, elite after the catch skills, which I love. I think he's an underrated blocker, both in the run and pass. Although I don't want him pass protecting, I want him going out and catching passes. But you know, he's got some real proof that this guy wasn't just beaten up on bad teams. He went up against Penn State and Texas A&M, and he had over 280 yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 catches. The offense at Bowling Green ran through this guy. Normally, you don't run an offense through a tight end, but they did. He's got route running, play strength. He can bust the seam wide open. He's a good ball tracker too. But I get what you're saying is the speed isn't great. He's not a burner. The hip flexibility, it's going to hurt him at the next level. Obviously, we know his yards after the catch elusiveness is there at the college level, but does that translate to the NFL? So I get that completely. When I watch him, do you know what I think? I think his running like motion just makes it look weirder. Like he just runs differently, doesn't really pick up his knees, but he actually is going to work, in my opinion, at the next level. He's actually rated ahead of Colston Loveland for me because Loveland doesn't block as well as he does. And oh, by the way, Harold Fannin Jr. is still wicked young. People like assume this type of guy would be like 24, 25. He's 20.
That is young.
And he just had 1,500 yards in college, which is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair value to take him here. So now we've got Luther Burden and Harold Fannin Jr. Not too shabby.
And I love the offense already. I love it. All right.
Jake 96.
Ooh, this will be interesting because I saw somebody right away that stood out to me, Ashton Gelati, who I'm really considering here. Love his film. I think he and Brennan Jackson would be a really nice tandem behind Jared Verse and Byron Young. But what else can we do here? Oh, Oladejo too. I mean, he's a freak. I love Oladejo. Really new to the position, very green and already producing. Tackle, you mentioned Cameron Williams. I like him. I like Jalen Travis. I like Logan Brown. Obviously, I know Deb likes Logan Brown. And I mean, I'm a Kansas fan. Of course, I like Logan Brown. Then at running back, here's the problem. Okay. Devin Neal, love him to death. Devin Neal is just like Kyron. He doesn't have like the long speed that like people are looking for, Alexis, and isn't as explosive as some of the other guys. So it's like, why would I draft a guy who's good in pass pro, does all the things Kyren does, that's not really going to complement him, right? That's going to be more of a Blake Corum pick, and that's why they're in the position they're in. So I'd probably be out on that. Wide receiver and tight end, I think we're good. Quarterback here, if, like I've mentioned many times, if Milroe's here, I'm rushing the podium to pick him. I'm not picking Will Howard this early. I'm not picking any of these quarterbacks this early. I like Kyle McCord, but not this early. So X those positions out. Tackle, yeah, I think there's interest there. Corner, I mean, I like Dorian Strong's body composition. I like the inside-outside versatility of Jacob Parrish. Noel Williams really stands out. Kobe, obviously both Mello and Kobe. All right, what do we have? Defensive interior. Pegues is really nice. I like his ability. Linebacker. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of linebackers that I like. I mean, I really...
I feel like there's a big drop off in the class. Like, this is, like,
I like Kaiser. I like King, but they got Nate Landman, Alexis, who does a lot of the things that King does, like, really well. Mm-hmm. I think Cody Simon is a really good fit. I think Stutzman is probably my guy.
Who was that linebacker from Ohio State that we interviewed who was just like so fun? Do you remember who I'm talking about? Like, was it 2 years
I was just
ago?
thinking about him the other day, and I could not remember his name. Had kind of a different type of name too.
He was like a cowboy. Like, he had a cowboy hat, and yeah, he was fun.
Something Steel Chambers. That's what it was.
Yeah. He got drafted by the Browns, I think, right? Was it the Browns?
I think so, yeah. So I really like Oladejo. I think I'm going to go with him here. Off-ball linebacker that, can play edge. Kind of looks to me like he could be like a Uchenna Nwosu type, a Josh Uche type. I love Gelati. I love Gelati, but I'm back and forth on both of those guys. I am going to leave it up to the comment section. Oladejo or Gelati here. I will take either. I love them both.
I won't give my opinion because I don't want to influence what the chat says, but I have a very obvious pick between the two of them that I would take.
I think I'm actually leaning towards Gelati, to believe it or not. Well, what's the age gap here? Oh, he doesn't exist. No age.
He was born in a leap year.
Yeah. No, yep, they both apparently were. All right, chat. Gelati or Oladejo? You can either put UCLA or Louisville. Actually, don't do that. I know a lot of UCLA fans are going to just put UCLA. Give us the Bruin. Ooh, he just mentioned Braden Swinson, who is gone. Okay, good.
Yeah,
that would have been a pain in the ass. All right, they're saying Oladejo. I like it. Yeah. I love both players. But I think this bolsters their edge room where I'm feeling good. And now look at that, Alexis. You pick at 101.
Is the tackle there still?
Cam
Williams.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, but Jalen Rivers is there. Logan Brown is there.
Does have some background at right tackle.
See,
okay.
I'm not super familiar with Jalen Travis, I'm going to be honest, so I can't pretend to.
Do you want me to keep it on tackle? Do you have other positions you're looking at?
Corner, probably.
Because, I mean, right now, this is what our team looks like, our draft team.
Yeah, let's see. Who's a corner?
You said corner, and I was like, trade.
Oh.
Everyone's still there.
Jacob Parrish. Ooh, I have to go with Jacob Parrish. I don't know, chat. I really like Jacob Parrish, but I also think tackle. I like tackle here.
Man, Kyle Williams is still there. What the hell?
I know, but I don't want to take a receiver here.
Deb wants Logan Brown.
Ooh, Logan Brown. I don't know.
I think we'll be able to hold off on Logan Brown for now.
Yeah, I was gonna
think he'll be there.
Maybe I do think he'll be available later, and I feel like I might be inclined to take Jacob Parrish only because he's so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can go wrong with taking Jacob Parrish.
Well, just to prove your point here, box usage, slot usage, outside corner usage, defensive line usage. Obviously, that's just blitzing, but still, yeah.
Little did you know, guys. Jacob Parrish also plays defensive tackle. Yeah, let's go.
Well, you don't put your 198-pound corner at defensive line? Live a little.
He's revolutionary, okay? I really mean it when I say he's versatile. Yeah, let's go with Jacob Parrish. I think that's a slam dunk pick.
I would be very happy with this right here.
Yeah,
if those are the first 4 picks, I'm not complaining. He's still there. Don't do this to me.
You know what is so sad? So Kyle Williams, one of my friends who covers the 49ers, actually, she loves Kyle Williams. And for that, I almost kind of want him to go to the 49ers just for her. But from a competitive standpoint, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I don't need him in our division.
But I just think at this point we've already taken Luther Burden and I don't know. You'd really be putting Jordan Whittington on the back burner if you
So all right, so think about it right now. You have Luther Burden, you have Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, not in order, guys. Don't yell at me. Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington. That's 5. You have Xavier Smith as your returner. That's 6. You could still add another receiver. If they added another, it would be Isaac Tesla, in my opinion. I think he fits what they look for. Did not drop a pass in college.
Adding one in the 4th round, though.
No, I'm not going to go that route. I'm kind of bummed that this is not a draft where I'm overly hyped for the quarterbacks. I do think Kyle McCord fits what they're looking for probably the most that's left. And there's nobody that's interesting late, in my opinion.
Riley Leonard went before Will Howard.
I think he's better than Will Howard personally.
I'm a Notre Dame fan. I like
him, but I do
not expect him to go before Will Howard.
I had a much higher grade on Riley Leonard, actually. So here it's interesting. So you got edge taken care of. That is about as loaded of a position as it's gonna get, because you have Brennan that you're looking forward to. You got Oladejo, you got Verse and Young, and Hampton can try and win a job, and Keir Thomas. So we're good there. Tight end loaded, good. Wide receiver, loaded, in my opinion. Cornerback, loaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So linebacker here, I feel like if he does make it, I don't know if you're going to pick him, so I'm almost curious if I want to pick him. But at the same time, they just don't value linebackers that much. They really don't. So I'm not going to go too crazy here. Safety, I really like Malachi Moore down the board, not now. Cornerback, we already went with. Edge, interior defensive line.
I do like Ty Robinson.
I like Pegues, but I just don't love.
Line,
yeah.
He signed... blanking on his name.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'd pick Brashard Smith in a second, but I really feel like this is going to be the Rams' next running back. I really think this guy complements Kyron well, but more importantly, they've met with him. His, breakaway stuff is really good, and this guy is. They say he's undersized. I don't see an undersized. He's strong. He's a strong dude. Make guys miss. I really think Jarquez Hunter is probably going to end up being the guy. So I think the question remains, do I want to go with Jarquez Hunter? Or what do I want to do here? And I think...
You could trade.
I think I'm going to trade down. I don't necessarily love Hunter at this pick. I think I could trade down maybe 10, 15 spots, and... There's Jacksonville. What are you going to offer me, Jacksonville?
Hey, Deb, super chat.
Oh, I will highlight that.
Thank you, Deb.
Oh, I guess I already highlighted that. That's what you're saying. Thank you, Deb.
She wants Logan Brown.
So
I don't know if he's still there.
Let's see. Get our pick back from the Jets, so we have back-to-back picks. Okay, they didn't like that. Maybe they'll like it again. Nope, didn't like that. Okay. Bears. No. What the hell is this? 148 to 233? You're not surprised, but
no. It's the Bears.
Okay. Cool. So there it is. We got another pick here. All right. Pick 142. He's still there. Are you freaking kidding me? That's insane.
Logan Brown is there.
He is there. Logan Brown's there. I am going to go with... Well, now that he's gone, I'm going to go with Hunter. I think Hunter's the perfect complement for Kyren Williams. I like it. I'm going to go with Hunter. So,
all right.
Now you have pick 161.
All right, let's go offensive tackle. We got to get some beef on this offensive line, and Rams fans know all too well what happens when somebody goes down on our offensive line and there's not someone good to back them up. So let's look at offensive tackle. Oh, I have to do it, Jake. I have to take Logan Brown. We have to take Logan Brown.
And look at that. What position at tackle did he play? Right tackle, the most important position right now for the Rams, because we don't know what's going to happen post Rob Havenstein.
Right. And it's good depth, which is always important, especially for the Rams the past couple of seasons. 6'6", 315.
He also is a little bit on the older side as well. He's going to be 24, so that gives him more likelihood he'll be ready. Now, as far as the ideal arm length for a right tackle, right? You're going to be looking at about 34-inch arm length or more. So he is a little undersized there, but barely. We're talking about 33 and 7/8 arms. I think he can play right tackle. So I actually like this pick a lot. And if you're looking for a player comparison, not one that I have come up with, but one that Mock Draftable has, it's actually Kelvin Banks Jr., 91.6%, who's going in the first round. Caleb McGarry is also up there. So you got some guys there that, I mean, one is a first-round pick and another one is a first-round pick. And then Blaze Andrews is another one who he interviewed. So those are some player comps there for Logan Brown.
Forgot about Blaze.
Who you just took. So now we have, how many six is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good God. All right. So we have all the needy positions taken care of. We got tackle, running back, cornerback, edge, tight end, wide receiver. So what is next? Probably going to go best available at this point. Linebacker.
Yeah, I feel like they got to add at some point a linebacker.
So I don't really know if he's going to be there. I'm very curious to see if he does fall here. I think out of these players, I'm going to go with Sean Dolak. They're way lower on him than they should be. I think Dolak is a crazy athlete. I mean, when you look at Dolak from Buffalo, who I believe wore the same number as Khalil Mack, there's a reason. This dude is a baller. I mean, this isn't just me, guys. The tape speaks for itself. Then you look at the analytics here. He only missed 5% of his tackles, and this guy was just absolutely insane. He had 125 tackles. He has 13. He had 13 games played. He didn't play in 2023 as much. In 2022, he did. This is a kind of do-it-all, really good coverage guy. He's going to be one of the steals of the draft, I think. And the fact that he's here, this makes it a no-brainer for me. We're going to go with Sean Dolak, who everything supports it, from the testing, the tape. The only reason I think he's falling, and I don't even know if I buy this, but it's because he went to Buffalo. And I mean, Khalil Mack went to Buffalo and he went in the first round. So I've seen it before. I remember there was a player by the name of Tariq Cohen. I know you probably remember him from NCANT. And I kept thinking to myself, I saw him in mock drafts going in the 6th and 7th round. And I was like, I will take him there. But like with what he offers, I don't think he's going to go that late. And he went in the 3rd round. Chicago drafted him. So
yeah.
I'm hoping Sean makes it to this point. It'd be an absolutely awesome pick. I'm not confident, but I am going to take Sean Dolak here.
All right. 4 picks later, I'm up.
Yup.
So we've got we have addressed, I think, all of the major needs for the Rams so far. I feel like we kind of are in that luxury territory now where we can take best player available. We can take our guys, quote unquote. Who's at quarterback? I'm just curious.
At quarterback?
Yeah, I'm not.
He won't be there. Tyler. I wouldn't even take him because that's not realistic.
I was about to say, like, that he will be long gone by now, and there's nobody. Brady Cook kind of intrigues me, actually. I don't know that I would take him in the 6th round, but I am very intrigued by him as a prospect. There is part of me that thinks it would be a total crash and burn, but then there is another part of me that like thinks he's very underrated. I don't know if you've watched his tape or if you.
I have. I initially thought I was going to like him, and then I was just really disappointed. I think it was 11th or 12th on my board. He did finish ahead of Quinn Ewers, though, who I'm not at all a fan of.
I don't like Ewers either.
Curtis Rourke had good tape, played the entire year on an ACL, but at the same time, he played the entire year on an ACL. He just had ACL surgery in January. That's his 2nd ACL tear. He's had a myriad of injuries. I think the guy is a stud, but I don't know about that one.
I am going to probably pass on quarterback, even though I think it'd be so fun to reunite Cook and Burden. Selfishly, I love drafting players from the same school. Let's look at receiver. I missed who was up at the top.
I like Momfield.
I haven't really watched.
I like quite a few of these guys actually. Momfield,
Elijah Badger.
Elijah Badger's a good player
out of Maryland. He won't be here though.
Jimmy Horn Jr. if you're looking for a return guy as well.
Theo
DK is good. I think my favorite for like the Rams would be Brew McCoy, just because I think he is exactly the type of guy that they would draft. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I would draft necessarily anybody here.
There's no one here I love. I do think Prather's interesting, and I don't think that he will still be here at this point in the actual draft. Theo Weiss is also somebody who I'm interested in. We've already taken Burden. That would be fun. But like, did it say scouting coming soon for his bio?
Yeah, that's never coming. If it's not there now, it's not. It's like it just magically show up tomorrow.
You just on draft day they're gonna add it and just be like, oh, finally fill out his information.
This guy's intriguing, but here's my issue with Dante Thornton Jr. I know he's got crazy prototypical size, speed. I mean, he's a freak athlete, but he just wasn't that productive in college at that athleticism, which is a concern of mine. But a bigger concern is that he is so limited in what he does. He ran a 4.3, Alexis, for those of you that are wondering. Ran a 4.3, a 1.51 split. He's 6'4" and 5/8 and 205 pounds. And he's got good arm length, not great. But the thing about Dante Thornton Jr. is he's just running straight down the field. He doesn't have like a route tree or anything like that. So this is a type of where you would draft somebody like that, but I don't think the Rams would be looking to get another project like Jacob Harris again anytime soon.
Yeah, let's take a look at interior defensive linemen. I'm just curious because that is a position we haven't addressed yet. And I don't think Ty Robinson's going to be here either, so I almost don't want to take him.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
So, I mean, if he was actually here,
I don't think any of these guys are gonna. I mean, maybe Jared, but I don't know.
Howard Cross. Well, maybe actually. I don't know. I'm probably just higher on Howard Cross because I'm biased. See, this is such a weird spot to pick in because it's like we pick 194 and 195. We could trade out, but like what, trade back to the 7th? I
Yeah.
almost would rather trade one of these picks for a 2026 pick.
I think
Malachi
Mickens
Moore
is going to go a
interesting,
lot higher than that ADP. And I say the same thing about Malachi Moore. I mean, he
Yeah,
does everything.
I think Jordan Hancock's also going to go higher than this. Can we scroll down on the safeties a little bit more, please?
Yeah. I like Kitan Crawford.
Dante Schrader Jr. out of Maryland's interesting. I don't know.
So never coming. Okay, good to know.
No, I think that what they've done is like after the 5th round prospects, it's just
they just copied and pasted. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah. I do like Dante Schrader Jr. I don't know. I don't love like the way that this draft is particularly falling. I almost want to go receiver. I don't know. I don't like, I mean, there's no one here. Let's look at
do you want to look at the positions that we didn't draft?
Yeah, probably. Might as well at this point.
And well, we did just draft a linebacker, but let's just look at best player available at that point. So these are the best players available.
See, it's just so many of these guys I don't think are realistic to take here. They're gonna be gone. I like Jack Nelson. We could double up on tackle.
Yeah. I think he only played left tackle, but yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take him because I think at this point, offensive line depth, you can't go wrong. And I think that he's a very good value pick here. So I would have wanted, I saw somebody say Ty Robinson in the chat. He's just, there's no universe that he's here. So I'm like, I don't even want to.
Yeah, I don't buy that he'll make it. Same thing with Cameron Johnson.
Yeah. Like,
I don't think either of these three. There's a chance with Hancock and Woodson and Mumfield, but
Malachi Moore won't be here.
I think he will.
You do?
He didn't like test that well, but I don't care. I mean, his tape is awesome. So I'm going to go with Malachi Moore. And then 2 more picks.
I don't know. Let's look at interior defensive line. Oh, you've got them up already, but I might take Howard Cross. Nazir Stackhouse.
I don't. He doesn't really offer much. Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting. Okay. A super chat. Alex. Thank you.
He is totally busting my balls on this one. I missed a lot, but did we take Jake's favorite wide receiver, aka Savion Williams? Jake's the leading authority on Savion, if y'all must know. So for those of you who don't know, I did a film breakdown watch party, and we watched a bunch of players. And I figured it was like, I'll just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Watch Jack Besh and Savion Williams. And I'm sitting there like, all right, when the hell is Savion Williams going to play wide receiver? The dude is Cordarrelle Patterson at 6'3" or 6'4". Alexis, he's at running back like the whole game. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was getting so pissed. And then they used him at wide receiver and he dropped a wide open catch. And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, I don't dislike him. I just don't really see the early top 4 round hype.
Yeah. I think, okay, so we haven't addressed interior defensive line, so I think it's good to add. Let's look at Howard Cross, because I think, so I saw someone in the chat say Riley Mills over Howard Cross, and I agree, but Riley Mills is going to be gone long before. I mean, he's already gone in our...
Okay, so we just... No.
They've given up.
Yeah.
We're at the point of the draft where these prospects are the prospects that PFF has just...
He had a down year this year, so I think it is realistic he'd be available. Because his 2023 season was a lot better.
trying to decide if I would actually take Howard Cross here, if I'm being biased.
See, this is who I would probably take. I like Thor Griffith, but
see, I don't really know anything about him, so I feel like it's disingenuous for me to pick him.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's no one here that I love. What if okay, let's see the receivers here. Because I do think the Rams could very well double up on receiver in this draft.
I do too. Let's see.
I don't know that I would take Jimmy Horn, though.
I actually like
Beau Collins, I don't even know that I would take here. Bru McCoy is interesting.
He's just the type of guy that they take. You know what I mean? Like, he's like the Ben Skoranek of this draft.
Let's take McCoy, because I'll overthink this for hours. I just think he's a very safe pick here.
I love this 100% contested catch rate.
I just love his name.
He didn't play much. Well, it's Muhsin Muhammad's son, so that's why. So it's Muhsin Muhammad III, I think.
Yeah, the way that this simulator has run in terms of picks is not like, doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. But Ricky White, I need to like really watch more Ricky White, I think. And I'm surprised because is he not?
Oh my God, they have a kind of summary here.
Summary. Well, because he's being projected, and from what I've seen, like as like a 4th round pick. So I'm kind of surprised that.
So he won't be there. Here. Chisholm's good.
I can't take another Eastern Washington.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good players. I don't know if they would take any of these players specifically. I mean, the one that I think of is Bru McCoy.
Well, that's why I said to take. Let's take.
Oh, you are going to go with Bru McCoy?
Yeah, just because it makes the most sense. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't love who's left.
Yeah, I don't love who's left either. So I'm going to. I am gonna go.
We haven't taken interior offensive lineman yet. You know, let's get some depth in there at the end of the draft.
I kind of like Jackson Slater. I mean, good depth guy, not somebody I see, being.
See, like Dellinger, don't even think he's going to be here.
Dellinger might. I mean, this is the 6th round, not the 7th necessarily. So Jake Majors is intriguing. And we don't have them picking a Texas guy yet. And this is somebody that is a true center. Mm-hmm. They do have Dylan McMahon. I do kind of feel like they're going to pick at least one Texas guy. But,
I just
think
what are
you thinking?
This is definitely a luxury pick. I don't know that there's a wrong. I probably won't take another receiver. But, yeah, what are you guys thinking? What's the chat think? What should we do? Or what should Jake do?
I don't think Scattaboo is there, guys. Yeah, it's... Because we already went tackle twice. Otherwise, it'd be like Holland Pierce all day.
They might double dip on corner.
They could.
I don't know.
I don't know if they would. They've got a lot of corner depth. I don't really love anybody here, to be honest with you. I like Jabbar Muhammad, but...
There's no one there that I love either. Maybe, like...
Thor Griffith. Let's go.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anybody, and it was too close, so...
Yeah.
I went with Thor Griffith. We wanted to be, like, realistic in our approach here, because we obviously could have gone with different but let's see if we can.
Ooh, they hated
They just hate you.
Okay, I didn't pick.
Oh no, what'd I do? Okay.
It is reloading. It's actually not bad. And what we've learned from doing this every year is that there's always like...
I'm going to download this before we lose it because it kept doing that. I was like, no. All right. So this is our mock draft. Read it and weep.
Yep. So we trade down and got Luther Burden.
Oh no.
What is going on?
It's over. Okay.
So Jake kicked us off and he traded down and took Luther Burden, which I love that pick and would be ecstatic if the Rams did that. Like, you get him and you get more picks in the process, which is like a win-win.
More weapons for Stafford, which I love. And they're guys that aren't currently on the roster. What was the thing that the Rams really struggled with at tight end? Finding guys that can make guys miss, right? Davis Allen did a decent deal of it the year prior. This past year, dealing with a back injury, we didn't quite see that. Colby Parkinson, we had really high hopes for, didn't really make anybody miss. Tyler Higbee led this team and generated missed tackles forced, and he only played 3 games. So they needed that. Harold Fannin Jr. had 32 missed tackles forced, which led all of college football. Luther Burden III was among the top guys in generating missed tackles forced. So again, yards after the catch ability, making guys miss. This is going to maximize your offense. Those little things. Then Oladejo. Alexis, I really like the Oladejo fit. I think they will probably add another edge defender in that rotation there. And they probably should. They need to have some sense of urgency here, because are you going to bring back Byron Young on a long-term deal or not? That's what you have to figure out, because we know Jared Verse is going to get paid, but now we know if Jared Verse gets paid, how much is that going to be by the time he gets paid? $50 million a year? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way contracts are going. So I like this. I like Parrish, inside outside versatility, which the Rams like. To me, this is a good Kobe Durant replacement since he's in a contract year. You can't sign everybody. Trading down and then, securing Jarquez Hunter. A lot of people don't really understand how athletic this guy is. He's 5'9", 204. He had 21 on the bench. He had a 1.58 10-yard split. So he doesn't quite have that explosion right away, the get off, but he's got 4.4 long speed, and that is evident. One of the more explosive playmakers of the running back position in college football. Then you took Logan Brown, and that is the highest grade I think they gave us since Luther Burden. Logan Brown is somebody that can play guard, can play tackle, really was relied on at Kansas. And, I think he's a really good pick there. The arm length isn't quite textbook, right? But he's almost there. He's like right on the borderline. So I think while everyone and their mother in draft Twitter will probably move this guy to guard, I think he can play right tackle at the next level. And then Sean Dolak, they're idiots for having this. That's on PFF. That's not me. That's an A+ pick. If you get Sean Dolak at 190 overall, I feel great about that, because this is a guy that plays as a coverage guy. He can blitz. He can play the run. He doesn't miss tackles. He had a 54 targeted passer rating. I understand he played at Buffalo, but I don't really care. I thought we already broke that whole thing with, Khalil Mack. Evidently we didn't. Sean Dolak should be drafted in the top 3 rounds. I don't know why the hype isn't there with him. He ran well, 4.4, 4.5 speed. I mean, that's a guy you add to your linebacker room. You already have Omar Speights locked in as a starter. You add Sean Dolak, who can do a little bit of everything. And then you got your depth. You got your guy that can come in as a run specialist in Nate Landman. You got Troy Reeder as depth. You got Tony Fields II as depth. You got Elias Neal. I feel pretty good about the linebacker room just with that. Then you get Jack Nelson, adding more depth to your offensive line. Mentioned Dylan McMahon is about why I didn't go after a center. He's a 5th rounder from last year. The Rams got. The Eagles cut him. Rams picked him up. So you basically got a 5th round center for free. So you brought him back. You have Coleman Shellen, who's starting. You have Bo Limmer, who's the backup. I felt like there was too much there to bring in Jake Majors. But you brought in another tackle, and I think that makes sense. You know, Joe Nopum's gone. So now you have Alec Jackson, you have Rob Havenstein, and of course, like I mentioned, you have inside, outside versatility with Logan Brown at tackle and guard. Same thing goes with Jack Evans. You could play tackle or guard. You got Brew McCoy. Very much embodies kind of the same mentality as somebody along the lines of Jordan Whittington. So, you know, he, to me, is like the Ben Skoranek of this draft. Kind of a pseudo tight end, if you will, but really a receiver, good blocker, good route runner, really underrated football player, didn't have crazy stats, didn't test incredibly well, but I just like the player, and I think the Rams will as well. And then Thor Griffith, who he has all the analytics there. He's a really good player, highly productive at Louisville, adds to your defensive line room. I feel really good about it.
Yeah. I do too. I think especially the way that we started out this mock, I think our first 4 picks were very, very strong.
Oh, I forgot Malachi Moore.
Good player. Also good value there. I think.
Yeah, I love Malachi Moore. So,
but yeah, I think the way that this mock started out, I mean, especially the first 2 picks, I mean, getting Burden and Fannin would just, I mean, listen, one of the Rams' biggest problems, right, was finding, you know, guys to score in the red zone, finding explosiveness on offense. You know, you lose, obviously, Cooper Kupp. I mean, I think that these would be really, really fun additions to the offense. You know, that we bolstered up the defense a little bit. What would you say is your grade, your personal grade of this mock we did? And everybody, we're going to be doing at least 1 more, probably 2 more. And we do each one very differently. So Jake, this one, PFF gave us a B+, even though they keep refreshing the screen. At the bottom, it is a B+ grade from PFF. What would you give it, Jake?
I would probably give it an A-. Reason being is, you know, you didn't really address the quarterback need down the road in the future. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, no picks accumulated in 2026 when the draft is arguably more strong, sure. But I thought we did a really nice job. You know, we might have differed on a couple players, whatever, but I think as a whole, I'd say A-, just because, I mean, I could give it an A+. But the bottom line is, if the Rams came away with this haul, I don't think many people are going to be complaining, at least at no ball. If you don't know anything about anything, then yeah, maybe you might just be like, oh, we drafted a guy from Buffalo. He sucks. Really? Have you watched him? No, I just know that drafting a guy from Buffalo is just not smart. But I mean, this, I think, makes a lot of sense to what the Rams normally do. They get guys from big time programs, or they get guys that have excelled, and they don't necessarily take into account the 40-yard dash. They don't necessarily take into account all of those measurables. It's more so the on-field, the play speed. And Burden has the play speed, also has the measurables. Harold Fannin Jr., I think, plays faster than his 40 time, right? Oladejo, Jacob Parrish. I think a lot of these guys are guys that they will be looking at. So Malachi Moore feels like such a good pick. Like, I think my favorite pick in this draft specifically would probably be Harold Fannin Jr., the one that you made to start off your draft. I just think you're getting a guy that, because he runs a little funky, some teams might have him lower on their board. I know that sounds funny, but I'm not the only one to say that. I know Chris Sims brought that up, you know, because he doesn't pick up his knees. And it's something where it's like, wow, you know, this guy might actually be slept on because of the way he runs. And that's what I'm seeing. And I think this is somebody who, like, I compared him to 2 tight ends that Sean McVay has coached. Gerald Everett, his first ever draft pick, and I compared him to Jordan Reed. And when you look at, you know, the Jordan Reed comparison there, this is a physical, yak-driven flex tight end with great hands, and, you know, he's got some blocking caveats that you like. So I feel good about it. I like the overall fit, and that's how I feel.
I'm going to stay with a B+. I'm going to agree with PFF's overall grade, and here's the reason for this. I don't actually think is our fault. I don't love the way that the talent was dispersed in this simulator. There was a lot of like question marks for me about how guys fell or didn't fall. So I felt like when we got past the fourth round, it was like pretty inconsistent of what our options were, and I don't know that I like love the way it fell after that. I mean, I don't dislike it. I think that we did the best with what we had, which is a lot of like mock drafting. Um, but I think if I were looking at this, if this happened on draft day, I would probably give it a B plus. I think the first four picks nailed it. I mean, looking
Yeah.
right at the screen, I mean, Burden, Fannin Jr., Aldejo, and Parrish absolutely killed it. After that, I just felt like things fell a little awkwardly, but I think that we made the most of it. Those are still, pretty good players and there's a lot of potential there. So yeah, I mean, I think that we did a really good job. And going forward, we'll try some different scenarios and maybe we'll do another the crazy mock draft that we did. Remember, you brought it up to me before we did this, where
Yeah.
we remind everybody what happened.
Well,
I guess I could, but
I was obsessed, and to be fair, I kind of had the right idea, right? The Rams bought a pick last year. I mean, they didn't because they used it to trade up, but they did because it was something they didn't have. They traded a 2026 second rounder to move up in the second round of 2025. I had them trading a 2026 first rounder to get a first rounder in 2025. That was my big trade up. I thought that they could do that for a few players. And it turns out in our mock draft, I think you had a trade down or you had either taken Verse at 19, 19, excuse me. You either traded up or traded down and got Verse. But you had Jared Verse. And then my pick, I paused the draft right after you picked. And I traded up to 32nd and I took Chop Robinson because I was like, yeah, they'll buy a pick. Now, imagine if they had done that. Obviously, that's no, no Braden Fisk there. But if you had Chop Robinson and Jared Verse, the two best pass rushers from last year, that would have been insane. Anyway, that's what we had for our first. Like, we just kind of went crazy. I would say when you look at like who these positions fill, Burden doesn't fill any position. He's his own dude. Like, that's the cool thing about him. You get somebody that just isn't currently on the roster and hasn't been on the roster. My comparison for him is DJ Moore. Rams don't normally have this type of receiver, but he's basically a running back playing wide receiver. A lot more technically sound, and I think there's more polish in his game than Deebo Samuel. So I see that comp a lot, and I just don't think Deebo Samuel was a good receiver. I know people will laugh at that and say he had over 1,000 yards. He didn't run precise routes, rounded them off, and he didn't have natural hands. Burden has both. And then Burden can go up and high point the football and play bigger than his size. So I like that. Harold Fannin Jr. is essentially replacing nobody as well. He's adding something to this roster. A guy that can make guys miss in space. They don't have that currently aside from Tyler Higbee. So now you have Oladejo, and he is replacing Michael Hoyt. So that actually is a big time pickup there. Jacob Parrish isn't really replacing anybody, but he's setting you up to potentially replace Kobe Durant, replace Darius Williams, gives you a lot of inside-outside versatility. Jarquez Hunter is essentially taking the lead, in my opinion, ahead of Blake Corum, who you mentioned this to me, and I see it. If the Rams draft a running back and they trade Blake Corum for Michael Mayer straight up, I will not be shocked. I will not be shocked. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. So
it depends. It depends on, I think, how because they've come out. They want to extend Kyren Williams. They've said that they're working on that. I just think that I think the Rams, as Sean McVay has mentioned several times already this offseason, I think there's a miscalculation on the type of running back to pair with Kyren. And that was a big issue that I had with the Corum pick. It wasn't about Blake Corum. It was like, well, I wish they would have drafted a complement instead of a clone. And now Sean McVay is coming out and has kind of alluded to that a little bit, kind of like, oh, well, we probably should have more variety in the running back room. So I don't think it's absurd to say that if they end up choosing to stay with Kyren Williams, and extending him, that they trade Blake Corum.
I don't think it is either.
I don't think that they would do it this season, though. If I'm being honest, I think you probably give it another season with Blake Corum, unless, you find a guy in the third or the fourth that you really, really love. And because remember, they also re-signed Ronnie Rivers.
Yeah.
So that to me was surprising, because I would think if you want to have two small of that type of running back on your roster, you're probably going to stick with Corum.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe McVay's changed his mind. Maybe he came out and he was talking about, the variety in the running back room, and now he's like, never mind. I like all the running backs we have, and he's going to keep, that same kind of rotation of Kyren, Blake, and Ronnie, which he might. I just don't see it. I think that based on his comments, they are going to go after a compliment, and kind of, like you said, like a Hunter or somebody like that. So we'll see, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I think
I do want them to trade for Michael Mayer regardless, because I think he'd be so fun on this offense.
He would. I don't know if they would do it after they got Fannin in this position, but maybe they would. Who knows?
Yeah, not in this universe, not in this world. Not with this draft that we had, but in a different universe, maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting, but that is gonna do it, I think. Yeah. So
I think so. First DTR mock draft, guys.
In the books.
Comment, like, and subscribe, but tell us what you think about this. And we'll be doing another one on Friday night, and it'll be different. It'll be kind of opposite of what we've done tonight. We try to do 3 very different ones, so that way at least one scenario can be somewhat on point.
Yeah.
So we'll
and
see.
You'll start us off with the first pick. So
I will. But guys, thanks for sticking around for this mock draft. We're so close to the draft. And remember that Jake and I will be live streaming the entire NFL draft with our annual Downtown Rams draft stream. We've gotten all of your messages and been talking with so many of you about that already, but it's going to be a really, really good time. We'll see live, what happens and what the Rams do. But until our next mock draft Friday night, guys, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter /X at the Alexis Craft. You can follow me on Instagram at Alexis Craft. You can follow Jake on all platforms at JK Bogan. And guys, like I said, we'll be back soon. But until then, stay safe, take care, and go Rams.